Hey guys, I'm starting a fun new project. Um, in the summer, I am going to a live action roleplay event called Conquest. It's the biggest one in the world, and it's actually my first LARP. So, I'm trying to get items together that I can wear while I'm there. And I came across this awesome pattern for I guess you can call them stays. It's sort of like to be honest, it kind of looks like a corset crop top. Um but it because it stops at the waist, it'll be a lot easier for me to adjust than having to deal with the bottom part as well, and I think it might give me a little bit more movement. So I mean, it's really fun. I forgot to grab the patterns downstairs. I have the fabric right here, but the patterns downstairs. I'm an idiot. Anyway, I'm going to insert the image of it now, and it's cute, right? I think it's cute. um and I'm gonna be making it out of this gorgeous it's a mixed fiber fabric from my local fabric store, Masons. They are amazing. This was such a bargain, £5 per meter. uh so yeah, I bought quite a bit of it. um I'm going to use like a apple green lining for it. I already have a skirt made up of that fabric, so it's like really cute. But so I'm gonna have that with it, and I might make a. I don't currently have a shirt to go with it. Um, actually, I don't know if I'm gonna do a. I probably will do a shirt. Yeah, I'm probably gonna do a shirt to go under it. I don't really have many brown shirts in my wardrobe as yet. Oh well, good time to make one. I'll probably make that off camera. I want to focus on the bodice in this video. So, oh, it also needs interfacing, but I'm having trouble with my interfacing. It got stuck to my iron, and now I need to clean my iron, and that's it's really doing my nutting. So, I have some canvas that I'm gonna be using and just sewing to like the main outer fabric as if it was interfacing. All right, so I'm excited. Let's go and do this. I've put all the interfacing onto. I'm using the canvas as interfacing. I found it's pretty sturdy. Because I will be embroidering this, it actually makes it not like up quite so much. So I've put all the pieces that need interfacing on, as well as these bits. So that's and these bits as well. So everything is cut out, those are done, and the next step is to start assembly. According to the instructions, I'm supposed to start with the gussets for this area, but I'm still trying to work out how to do that. So I am gonna assemble the back first. I've pinned them together. I pinned them at the top and the bottom, and then just because it's a curve, I've literally just pinned it at the top and bottom and made sure that it's even all the way down. I'm also going to do the same on the other side so that we have, the back all ready to go under the sewing machine. Alright, so I'm gonna get these bits done, and then I'm gonna think long and hard. I'm also going to go ahead and do the same on the lining fabric as well, because they still have the pattern on them. It was so that I knew which piece was which. So, I am going to go ahead, do the back as well as the lining, and then I'll rejoin you. Alright, there's the back section assembled. I've clipped my seams, and I'm not feeling strong enough to get my ironing board out right now, so I have cheated a little bit, and I have top stitched down either side of my seam. It's still really neat. See? All nice and flat. I used a very closely matching thread, so you basically can't see it. So even when I do the embroidery on this, you will not be able to, it won't, stick out like a sore thumb. So, I'm now gonna add on the straps, since they are technically part of the back. So, I am trying to remember which way around they go. I am not entirely sure. They do have a, I think it might be that way. Because that way they flap over like that. Whereas if I did it on the other side, it would, yeah. Alright, so this one goes here. Awesome. I'm going to get those sewn down, and they will also be top stitched so that they, stay where they're supposed to. And the same is being done on the lining. I just can't be bothered to show you. Alright, admittedly, I haven't done it yet. I wanted to make sure I'm doing it on this one first. But I will get on and do that, and then the back will be assembled, and then I will be trying to work out how exactly to add these gussets. Alright, took me a few minutes, but I have figured out how to add the gusset. So, the first thing I did was, let me show you on this one. I drew down the stitch lines, and then slashed it in the middle, almost down to the dots. And then the next thing I am doing is folding in all of these tabby bits and pinning them. My pins are right behind, are they behind the camera, or are they? No, they're on the floor. Alright. So I'm just gonna pin these down through all the layers. There we go. And same on this side, except making sure that it's down the line. And then I'm going to be lining, you know what, I'll come back and show you once I've pinned this bit. I've got that all pinned, as you can see on the back side. That's what it looks like. So the next thing I'm doing is taking the gusset piece. I'm actually going to remove these because they're going to line up anyway. These are the, they represent the little dots on the pattern. So, do I have the pattern piece in my hand? Well, they are little dots on the pattern, and those are tailor's tacks so that I can actually see where they're supposed to be. They also line up with these two dots there, which, I've now removed. But the next thing I'm going to be doing is lining up the edges of there and ensuring that the pins now go through all of those layers. Like that. And I'll be doing that on both sides, starting from the top. So going from there, ensuring that the edges align, and I'll come back when that's done. Alright, I've got that pinned on, and now I'm going to do 2 lines of top stitch, one as close to the edge as I can, and the other one about 1/8 of an inch away from it on the inside, so that I can ensure that, you know, it's really in there. And I'm going to be doing this for obviously the outer as well as the inner. I've now also done the back, the lining of the back, so that's all good. Alright, I'd better stop gassing and get on with this. Alright, the next thing to do is to attach my back pieces to my front pieces. These bits are really simple. It's literally just line it up and sew it down. So these bits are super easy. Just right side up, match up the sides. You know, the bit furthest away from the gusset is obviously the armhole. So we're just gonna pin those together and sew it, and do that on both sides as well as on the lining. And I'll meet back here when I've done it. So I've just tried this on, and it appears that I'm going to need to remove about 1 inch to turn it from the from the B to the A, because the A is 1 inch shorter, because, you know, I got no waist, so we gotta pretend we got one. Also, when I put this around and bring this over, I've discovered that it overlaps. Now, we don't actually want that. What we want is for it to have a little bit of a gap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin it where the two edges meet. And then the next thing I'm going to do is get the original pattern piece. Here it is. Come here. Now I'm going to do this obviously on all of the pieces, but I'm going to line this up with like where the pin is, and then I'm going to recut that edge. Obviously I'll have to secure the edges down again, but you know, that won't be too bad. I can always, you know, cut a little bit more if I need to, but at the moment that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna cut off 1 inch from the bottom, from both, you know, the main section and the lining, and then we shall check it again for fit, and we shall see. I have to make sure that this is the same on the other one as well, I think. I mean, I am lopsided, but more than likely I'll need it the same. So, it's probably best if I make sure that the pin is in the same place on the other side and all. Yep, there we go. Right, that's literally going through the right next to the pin. So, all right. So I'll be able to do, I'm going to do that off camera because it's a little fiddly. But I will meet you back here once I've done all the trimming and secured like the bottom edge again. Alright, see you back in a minute. Alright, I've trimmed down the main piece. I've lopped off an inch from there and probably about an inch and a half. Well, I've taken that off. I'm going to use these to measure from the lining and just like cut around that way so that I don't have to then try and maneuver it again. But we're just going to quickly check this again. So these bits go over the shoulder. Oh, sorry, Cheryl. Charlie was sitting nicely next to me, and then I seemed to have upset her. Oops. Alright, so because I'm obviously doing this over my clothing, you can see that unfortunately, well, it seems to be like at my waist now. I may need to take this out and add maybe a little panel on either. Actually, you know what? I don't care. I don't care enough. But what we are going to do is check these bits. So that goes there. Sorry, let me pull my t-shirt down. This is YouTube, and not, you know, another site that will remain nameless. There we go. So I think that would do it. That's about what I want. I think if I did this again, what I would do is to move this over a little bit more and to ensure that the shoulder, because I have really narrow shoulders, and they're only like maybe 3-4 inches wide, so most straps kind of fall off, so I have to be careful. But I think that those are fine, so I'm gonna do that onto the other onto the other piece, and then it's time for me to start designing what embroidery I want to do on it. So I'm still thinking I want embroidery, so like maybe vines or maybe flowers. I'm gonna go on Pinterest and see what takes my fancy. I want this whole thing to give off hobbit-y sort of vibes, basically, like most of my wardrobe, quite frankly. Alright, but this one is like really hobbit. So I'm gonna come back and show you what I have designed once I have decided on it. First, I'm gonna, chop off what's unnecessary of this one. So it took me a while to decide on a design that I wanted. In the end, I've gone for like leaves on a vine, sort of. You'll see what I mean in a little bit. So I'm going to use a, well, on this side it will look like a back stitch, but it's actually called a stem stitch. So on the back, it'll look, on the front, it'll look different, but I'll be working it from the back. So these are the vines going all the way down and even up the little tabby bits and all around. And I drew it on pen so you guys could see it, because it was in pencil and you wouldn't be able to see it, because you also I don't think that you can actually see the pencil lines that are on there anyway, because well, you can just maybe in like certain areas. Anyway, the embroidery is gonna have to wait for a day or two because I don't got the right embroidery threads for this. I want to either do like a brown or maybe a gold, but I ain't got it. I've got a load of green and yellow and blue, but no brown or gold. So that will have to hold up till I can get to the fabric store, probably tomorrow. And it's pretty late anyway, so I am putting tools down. Alright, so meet me back here tomorrow and we'll start on doing the embroidery. Okay. So I'm working on the embroidery. It's going really well so far. I've got quite a fair bit of it done. But I am struggling with this corner. This is the center front. And yes, I know I will be covering it with some bias binding, but do you see this? I am really, really, really hoping that my fabric does not fray any more than that, because this is starting to get a little bit stressful. And this is basically going to be make or break. Do I throw it out and lose my temper, or do I rein it in, try and keep going? I suppose time will tell. Many prayers, many thoughts. Thank you. Okay, so I realised that I was working on my hobbit stays and completely forgot to film. Yeah, that's on me. Anyway, so I sewed on flowers, all very pretty, onto the front and some onto the strap. I attached the backing, the lining, and there is also, I put on the bias binding at the front and then slid some what's it called, boning, that's the word, boning. I put some boning into the front, and it's so that it doesn't like slump like this is likely to, because I want that to stay there. I've also just finished putting on the bias binding around the rest of it. I was very lucky in the amount that I bought, and I had, well, that's all I got left over. I think I did a good job. And also I have now marked with pins where I need to put the holes for my ribbons to go through. I don't want to have to hand sew eyelets in, because honestly, I just can't bring myself to do that. So what I'm thinking of doing is tracking down the ribbon that I need, and then I'm gonna figure out how wide it is, and I'm going to just make little buttonholes where each of these pins are, also on there and on there. So they'll basically be like little buttonholes with the ribbon threaded through, so they can do up. I won't be making them particularly long, since I only need it to be wide enough to get the ribbon through. So once I've done that and I've added ribbons, this is done. I'm super stoked. And I have a skirt that I can put with it for the reveal, and I'm also realizing that because this is so short in the torso, that quite a bit of me might be a bit more than I'm comfortable with, might be on display. So I think I'm gonna either find or quickly whip up a like an underblouse or something. I do have like a white top I can put under it, but that might be a bit too stuck. We'll see. I'm gonna go ahead and do the buttonholes, and we will come back when I've done those so I can show you how they look. Alright, I have a ribbon that I'm going to be using for now. I don't know if I'm going to stick with it, or I might find something else that like matches this green or perhaps the same level of brown, but overall I think it looks alright. So the measurements of this ribbon, it's about 8 millimeters or just over 1/4 of an inch. So that's about how wide I'm going to be making my little buttonhole slits. So, ooh, I think I'm actually going to make these ones on the vertical. So I'm going to have to move these lines, move my pin so they're straight. And that way it just feels like it fits better. I'm going to leave these, this one and on the other side of it, you know, parallel. I just feel like that would probably work a bit easier. And it feels like it would be slightly stronger. So I'm going to go ahead and make my buttonholes. And I'm going to be using the same thread that I used for the bias binding, because I think that honestly would work a lot better, because if I was doing these by hand, I would use the same thread that I used for the embroidery. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I shall see thee when I am done. I'll see you in a bit. I've got all my buttonholes sewn on. Next thing I do is need to find what I did with my seam ripper and just like split down all of them so that I can now actually thread ribbon through them. And then to cut lengths of ribbon, I'm probably going to use about 6 inches for connecting the straps, and the rest will go into like the main bodice. So I'll just like cut a foot off of this. I'm gonna see you guys in a little bit in the reveal. Yay! I feel like I need to move. Yeah, I need to move. I'm being smacked in the head by these. I really loved that bodice. I have already started another one, except I'm doing it in black. I have this gorgeous fabric that I have been trying to figure out what to do with for ages, and it just screams that it would go so well with this fabric. So yeah, that'll probably be in my next video. I managed to have the bodice on all day. It was really comfortable. And admittedly it takes a little getting used to, and while I was filming for the reveal, let's just say I ended up on the ground and then could not get back up again. Uh, which is why the second half of all the footage is of me in my wheelchair. So what I have found is that I may need to adjust the straps a little bit to bring them in, because honestly, while I was wheeling my way home, my right shoulder strap kept falling off, and also the blouse that I made to go with it, the brown one, I was able to push it up to my elbow, but it would not stay there, and I find it really difficult to wheel with anything on my forearms, other than like a wrist guard, because I have really weak wrists, so I have to wear those from time to time so that I don't, so it's just for safety reasons, really. But other than that, I can't really wear anything on my wrists because they get in the way of my wheelchair. So that was driving me nuts. So more than likely gonna make a new shirt. I love that shirt that I had with it. And so that will be in the next video too, more than likely. So I will probably do like a short sleeve version. There is a short sleeve version of that pattern, and also I'm gonna see if I have enough fabric to make a skirt, because that, like, so many of those can just go with different fabrics, or like different outfits. So anyway, I love the bodice, and I have plans to make at least two more. I'm gonna film the black one, but I probably won't be filming like other ones that I make, because you don't want me to get too repetitive. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling on, and yeah, do me a favor and send me a like, and if you're new here, subscribe. Hi. And I will see you next time. Bye.